Tonight, Fayetteville City Council deciding they're still not ready to move forward with a new plan for Ramay Jr. High. They didn't take any action on a rezoning request that would clear the way for the school district to build that school. 5 News reporter Lauren Spencer joining us now. And Lauren, it's deja vu all over again.
Yeah, you're right, Darren. We were right here in this same spot 2 weeks ago when the council left the rezoning on the table after the first reading, and after hours of public comment about the trees to terrain to traffic, the council decided to leave the reading alone after a second reading tonight. Fayetteville Superintendent Dr. John Mulford says the property off College Avenue is the best location for their new Ramay Jr. High School.
So it's all about proximity to where families live, reducing traffic time, increasing walkability, and just overall efficiency within our community.
He says he knows there are concerns from residents and the district is addressing them.
Through design, we're trying to be really cognizant of the concerns of the neighbors and make sure that our approach to maintaining stormwater and diverting it is very conscientious, as well as having a small footprint on the site as we can.
Dot Neely, president of the Fayetteville Natural Heritage Association, says she doesn't want to see the land developed and thinks the council needs more time.
We want the best outcome for the community, the students, the schools, and something that is built in a place where it will last and not have continuous maintenance and repair costs and cost the city in stormwater management problems.
At Tuesday's council meeting, more than 30 people spoke for and against the rezone.
This town has stood for environmental priorities for a long time, and we're about to walk away from that.
I know that Fayetteville wants to provide a good quality of life for our families, but this is one way that we can do that.
But once again, the council couldn't make a decision, some waiting for a traffic study to come back, but some emphasizing that the council needs to remember this is strictly a rezoning request.
If it's not approved, then we'll go back to the drawing board and look at some other properties and try to make the best decision we can for our families.
The discussion will continue when the rezone is back on the agenda at the next council meeting, which is December 16th. Lauren Spencer, 5 News.
All right, Lauren, thanks. New tonight, the state of Arkansas is appealing an injunction that blocked the state's ballot initiative laws. Secretary of State Cole Jester issued the appeal today to the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals. Last month, a federal judge issued an injunction saying those requirements that you see there on your screen are unconstitutional and violate the First Amendment of Arkansas's Constitution. A month after Governor Sanders signed the ballot initiative bills into law, League of Women Voters of Arkansas filed a lawsuit challenging it. 2 other Arkansas groups have since joined as plaintiffs. A bill introduced by Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen signed into law by the president today. Mullen says the law will strengthen the cybersecurity protocols for the 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. The SUPPORT Act will reauthorize key public health programs focused on substance abuse disorder patients, but part of it will also strengthen guidelines for suicide hotline cybersecurity. It requires the Department of Health and Human Services to aid in the prevention of cyber attacks, along with requiring the Government Accountability Office to conduct a study evaluating any risks. Comes 2 years after an attack caused a day-long outage for that hotline. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma State Chamber is calling for lawmakers to adopt a new push to help increase literacy rates among 3rd graders in the state. They want Oklahoma to adapt Mississippi literacy reform efforts, which moved the state from last in reading nationally to top in just 12 years. Some state lawmakers say the proposal resembles past attempts that simply didn't work. Leaders of the program say it can be effective and further impactful economic sectors as well. In Conway, a human development center is facing very serious allegations after an investigation found malnutrition among its residents. A 43-page report from Disability Rights Arkansas outlines, quote, systemic failures in nutrition management and clinical oversight. That report cites delayed or missing documentation and staffing shortages. One example shows a resident was documented as having eaten 2 meals, but video showed he never ate at all. Disability Rights Arkansas says there is 1 dietary services director and 1 clinical dietitian for the facility that has 470 people, and they say that is not adequate.
People have been completely skipped over, or like they didn't get them maybe like the one, and that's something we've seen in more than just the case that's highlighted here, that he was so sedated that I think he was not, like he'd be sleeping a lot and was often not brought to the meal.
The group says the report was a last resort after what they call a lack of response from the Development Center and Arkansas DHS. GHS told our station in Little Rock the report is, quote, distorted attempt to discredit the human development centers. The Dardanelle Lock and Dam has been closed now for 12 days on the Arkansas River. It comes after a boat ran into a gate, forcing the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to shut it down to get it fixed. No boats have come through to make deliveries, which they say could have negative economic impacts if it is not fixed soon. But they say they're optimistic as welders work to put the final protective bumpers back on.
A lot of grit, a lot of determination, team members who are dedicated to make sure that we win as an organization and for the state of Arkansas. We will open up the lock itself, and that way that economy and that traffic and the barge traffic will pick back up again.
The Army Corps says it hopes to have the gate back open sometime later this week. Little more than a year after it was destroyed by fire, we're getting our first look at what the Bricktown Brewery in downtown Fort Smith on Garrison Avenue will look like when it's rebuilt. It was in November of last year when the restaurant caught fire, heavily damaging the old Adelaide Hall building, that building later demolished. Well, now Griffin Properties says it'll build a new 2-story building to resemble the old Adelaide Hall. The downstairs will be a Bricktown Brewery restaurant and bar. The upstairs will be an event space named Adelaide Hall. Construction will start immediately and take about a year to get completed. What has become a yearly Christmas tradition at the Fort Smith National Cemetery is back again this year. More than 17,000 wreaths will be laid at each headstone at the cemetery this weekend. And as always, they're looking for volunteers.
They were never afraid of dying. They just didn't want to be forgotten.
For the last 17 years, a large group of volunteers led by Philip Mary have made sure that's not happened. Mary says just like every year, they need volunteers. First this Friday when the wreaths are prepared at the convention center.
We always need trucks, pickup trucks, and trailers thereafter, or they're connecting at the trailer hitch. When we get these wreaths on long, looks like a great big huge shish kebab, long poles, about 30 wreaths per pole, and they are placed in the rear of the pickup truck perpendicular to where when they're unloaded, then over at the cemetery, they're easily offloaded on the same shish kebab, and then they're put into a special pattern.
And then on Saturday, the wreaths are then placed at each headstone.
There's a special pattern when the pickup trucks take them over two lines all the way around each curb, all the way throughout the entire facility. But it's all the way around to where once you're in there, any place you go, you'll see a wreath.
The wreath laying will begin with only family members of those buried there first laying wreaths on their headstone. Then there will be a brief ceremony starting at 11. After that, volunteers are allowed to then place wreaths.
There's over 3,000 people typically that'll be there. That's how many people care and want to help.
In the end, Mary says it's all about thanking those who were buried at the National Cemetery.
We do it because we just don't know how we'll ever be able to adequately thank the veterans for what they've done. And had they not done what they did, we wouldn't be able to do this. And we really do take that to heart.
If you would like to help get the wreaths ready, simply stop by the Fort Smith Convention Center anytime this Friday between 8 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon.